I'm at a loss because I can't even get in there to prune what's going on in there, to pull out. It's just, it's just beyond words. Oh, 2 eggs. Thank you for your eggs. At least 2 of the chicken babies are laying. What are you doing today, Maureen? Because we've got 2 eggs. I'm just finishing up some chicken chores, refilling their dust bath, refilling the wood chips, and also the straw for the ladies. But being that it's in the middle of August, what the heck? It's time to do another tour. And this probably, thinking about it, it might be the last tour of the season, with the exception of just doing that final harvest. But I do want to take you around and let you see what's growing on in here, and to get a closer up look of things that have been doing well and things that are not doing so well. Here on Vancouver Island, our spring was very, very chilly, and then our early summer was also very chilly. And if you remember back to the tour in June, where things should actually be doing pretty well, they were really stunted and really behind. And then of course July, they really picked up, and now here in August, we're actually seeing some great progress. So let's get on with that tour. There are some days where I do find that it's very, very difficult to be an urban homesteader. I do get some help from my family, but a lot of it is I'm doing it on my own. And there are some days where I think, you're a jazz and blues singer, and this is still new. Yes, I've been doing it for 4 years, but there is always that learning curve, growing curve that's going on, and so it's just like never ending. Some days are super easy to get up, get out, get things done. Other days not so easy, and then you go like, what the heck were you thinking, Maureen? But overall, once you start seeing the produce come in, then you go, okay, yeah, that's why it's worth it, because we're eating fresh food from the garden that has no pesticides, no herbicides in it, just fresh, pure food. I want to start with I know I do need to do some extra pruning in there just to kind of take away that clumping, but there is lots and lots of figs on this tree. We did have some ripening on the top, which of course led some of the wildlife to go up top. And the other day, this branch was bent right over, but I was able to tie it up. And then the following day, this branch here has a crack. So my thought process is the rats are going up to where some of the fruit is ripe, and because of their weight, they're actually pushing down those branches. And so sadly, one of them broke, but I've tied it up. Whether it repairs itself or not, I'm not sure, but this tree does need a good pruning, but there is fruit on the branch that is broke. So I want to hang on just to see if it will finish ripening those figs on there. So with our garden bed 3, I should have some onions in this garden bed, but the ladies keep coming in and digging them up. So whether they reroot themselves and get themselves situated, I don't know if it's gonna work. We are picking our broccoli crowns. Those ones are kind of going to seed. But this is supposed to be pickling cukes in here, and they're very yellow, hurting a lot. I do find that this bed does not like cucumbers. So I've never had the soil tested to see what is missing in here for my cucumbers, but I did just put in some alfalfa powder, and so I'm hoping that that's gonna pick them up and we will still get some pickling cukes. The Spartan apples on our espalier tree, we've gone and picked those just because they were ripe. My other fig tree here has also got some fruit on it, which is awesome. And then as we look up here, look at the kiwi life on this year, the fuzzy kiwis. There are so many. It is a self-pollinating kiwi, so I don't have to have a second one, and so it's just been great. Last year, I think this will be our 3rd year to get fruit, but this is the most that we've gotten so far, so that's exciting. Garden bed 2. We came in and picked the cabbages that had reborn themselves last year. And man, oh man, that cabbage tastes absolutely fantastic. These are what are called drying beans. So we're just supposed to let them go and let them dry. This gorgeous kale is looking wonderful. This and that one are my only sunflowers, so way too far behind, but the summer's not over yet, so we still could get a sunflower. The lavateria is just gorgeous and blooming, attracting lots and lots of pollinators, which is awesome. This is the Chicago pickling cukes in garden bed 2. Oh, And it looks like we got some cucumbers to add. This one is a ball. Oh, here's one that might have got me. Oh yes, he's a little on the large size. We use these ones to make our tzatziki sauce, which is just fantastic. Marissa makes a homemade yogurt and it's just wonderful. And so these ones that are a little riper, they work great for the tzatziki sauce. And this other type of cabbage, but I can't think of the name of it. I think this is a Savoy cabbage. So again, these were cabbages that I had planted last year, but they went to seed and then they turned around and made me more cabbages. Over here is what I call my little orchard. This was a volunteer, I think it was even in the pot, volunteer cucamelon. I didn't grow any this year. So here's a little cucamelon. That's our anise. That's good. And then I brought my sweet peppers out. I had them in the studio, not realizing that the studio was cold through the day. They are very stunted as well, so I'm not sure if we're gonna get many sweet peppers this year. Yams are doing okay in there. And the espaliered apple tree is doing okay. Grapes are doing okay. But if we go up here to where our asparagus strawberry patch is, this is where I'm growing my loofahs. Again, really far behind for where loofahs should be right now. But I'm not giving up hope. The tomatoes are finally fruiting. So in June, there was hardly anything here. July, it was like just a beautiful tomato jungle. And just over the last few weeks, the tomatoes have actually started to fruit. And then we did a great pruning last week. And what we're finding is that like just these 3 tomatoes here, they've grown so exponentially that just how big they are. Each day that we come out, they're even bigger. Right here are the Romas. Those ones come from my mom's garden. On the side here, we have these cherry tomatoes. I think I'll back up a little bit more. I didn't know that these sweetie cherries were indeterminate. Actually, I don't think we can see it just from the shade, but I did plant another one in garden bed 1. This one, I think we can see a little bit better. The tomatoes are super prolific. And again, as soon as I got it up onto this trellis, they just started to produce beautifully. Corn is a bit sad. We've been getting lots of feeds off of this broccoli with the crowns, which is just fantastic. There is a volunteer squash there. There's actually a lot of volunteer things into this garden, like these tomatillo plants here. So there are actually 3, 1 and 2 and 3, and you know, they've already started their little lanterns. So these were volunteers as well, which was great. There is supposed to be a lot of pole beans on here because I planted a lot. And at this point, there is one. All of these beans here, which I thought were pole beans, ended up just being bush beans. I'm not sad about it because it's up on a ledge and it's easy for me to pick. I'm not sad. Beans are beans. They're delicious. I think there's maybe 2, maybe 3 plants on this one, and the Vortex bean is one of the prominent ones. And these are just great. Like, look at how long this bean is, and it is actually not finished growing. They can be about 1 foot to 18 inches long. So, you know, one bean goes a long way. What is doing well here is the jalapeno peppers. So we've got some beautiful looking peppers on there. Oh, and a volunteer squash. I don't think I even noticed that. The cayenne is in here. And then I've got a really super hot pepper, but I'm not seeing if it's making its fruit yet. So this is the Tabasco plant from last year. So we are seeing some fruit on it. But this other one in the back, what are you? This is a Caribbean red habanero, and I'm not seeing any fruit. Oh, there is a flower there. So that's good. And if we continue on, we've got our cucumbers that are growing in here. And in garden bed too, there was lots of pickling cukes. We're going to be doing some pickles tonight. This thornless blackberry, we're starting to get some red fruit on it, which is great. Rudbeckia, black-eyed Susan. And just a quick look at the deck. I did go and buy some romaine and some butter crunch lettuce to repot in here after the other ones had gone to seed. Also got some dill starts and some more cilantro starts. The dill, because we've got to make some dill pickles. I moved the lemon trees over here and put them in these boxes, and they are actually starting to grow more, so they are very happy where they are. The basil and the holy basil are looking great. Everywhere in the yard there's always going to be nasturtiums. And some of these, they replant themselves. I did want to point out this. This is one of my olive trees, and we got that hard frost in the spring, so it lost all its leaves, and I thought it was dead. But a well-known grower that's on one of the other islands here, she said there were certain things like your bay trees, the olive trees, and I think there was something else. She said, be patient. They're probably not dead, which I'm so glad, because I was just going to rip this baby out. I do have another olive tree that was in the back there, and again, it did have a few leaves, but I thought it was dead, but I thought, no, give it a chance, and sure enough, it's also got new leaves growing on it. Looking over our onion bed, this is probably the biggest onions and the nicest ones I've ever grown. They're turning out still not super big, but I'm happy about that. That's going to be going into our salsa. These bird's eye chilies, these are my favorite. They get beautiful in red, so we still have some time, but these have all just started popping out too. Let's head to the front yard. The zinnias are just looking beautiful. This is only my second time to ever grow them, and the more that you give them a little prune, the more flowers that come, and they are just beautiful. So I did pick the peaches early because the rats were bringing them down and eating them. There is 3 plums that are just getting ready to be picked. The elderberries are still doing okay. And with this arch, here is a volunteer Jerusalem artichoke. We let them live. And then on this other side is another loofah. I found that the loofahs last year in the pots, they grew much better. But this year, not so much. We do have a beautiful flower here. So who knows, we might get some small loofahs from it. Bamboo's looking good. So there is our grapes. They are looking gorgeous. Now the reds are not super big in their clusters because I didn't prune it soon enough. I didn't realize that you do need to do pruning to your grape leaves once the flowers set. And so we've just been doing it over the last couple of days. And so it is making a difference on letting that air flow, because these are supposed to be turning red. So they still have some more time. A neighbor walking by last year, she told me that once they set fruit, you go to the next node and you clip it off. It is looking better, but we won't probably get as many as we got last year. But with this green table grape with no seeds, this one is looking very, very nice. We got beautiful clusters. I think I'm gonna try one. Not that sweet yet, but pretty tasty. I think I should call this video the finally. So finally, the doll baby watermelons are starting to fruit, which is great. And we've got quite a few out here, which is awesome as well. I think there's one hidden there, yeah. So not all hope lost. The infamous giant watermelon is sprawling out. Oh, there does look like there is some fruit on it, so that's awesome. Okay, that there is a disappointment. No, because last month I had said, oh, I forgot to plant sugar pie pumpkins. And so I just threw a couple seeds in the ground. And this got big and beautiful and bushy, and it's wonderful. Look at that, it's gorgeous. But why isn't it trailing down? Because someone didn't put in the right kind of seeds. This here, ladies and gentlemen, are zucchinis. But they're not even the kind of zucchinis that I grow. So it's a cross-pollinated because they're kind of yellow. That's not a zucchini, but it's not a pumpkin either. I don't remember if I planted seeds from a package or if I planted seeds that I had saved, which I don't typically save zucchini seeds just because they're so prolific and I've got lots of them. So I don't know what that is, but it sure ain't a sugar pie pumpkin. This is my zucchini. And it's, I've got two different kinds. I think this is not the dark one. I think the dark one is on the other one over there. But I had to show you the Hubbard squash. Oh my goodness. Look at him. He's just huge. He's just huge. Just gorgeous. I still do wonder if it makes a sound. As we come over here, here's another blue Hubbard that's smaller, but this one here isn't much smaller than that great big guy. So gorgeous. And our kabocha squash, they are just looking fabulous. I said, these two are almost getting ready. This one here, you know, his stem is starting to dry out. But beautiful. I think there's another one there. Spaghetti squash here, all ripening up. Lovely. And then another zucchini inside there. And then this is where I have my carnival squash growing. So there is one there. These guys come a little later, so I'm happy about that. In this pot here are more of whatever those seeds were that I thought were sugar pie pumpkins. And see, this one, the leaves are slightly different and not as big. Like it's like this leaf here is not rounded. This is very different than this leaf. So at one of the farm stores, they had 3 6-pound bags of potatoes, and so I have put them in here probably about a month ago or less. And so we've got our potatoes coming up. So I will, you know, mound them up a bit more, and these will be great potatoes for us to have in the fall. My yams, the slips are finally starting to reach out because our weather got a little warmer. I was able to bring out, here is another finally. I finally brought out my benches so that I can sit and take breaks sitting here. And along with that, my friend was able to fix the money box to the rack. I finally brought the rack down here. So just have to put some signage out, and then we will be ready to start letting people buy all of the vegetables that we are growing. As I'm continuing to work on the bindweed, I was noticing this, and it seems that the bindweed starts getting that powdery mildew on it. So a couple of days ago, there was no powdery mildew on my plants. Then the next day when I came out, yes, there was. So I watched a short of Growing Out the Box, and he showed how to make a spray, and it's more a preventative spray using whey and water. And so I made up that concoction and sprayed over them. Even though it is supposed to be a preventative and not a cure, I'm hoping it's going to help it not to continue to spread. As well as spraying the whey solution on top of the squashes, I also came out and did a hand spraying of the vinegar. I'm not sure if you saw my video about dealing with the bindweed, and it did just a tremendous job, but there is still root systems down there, so I do have to continue to do a regular spray. And again, it just does such a tremendous job. There was a lot more green here just a few days ago. So I just have to keep coming out every couple of days and giving them a spray as well. And it's going to be able to combat the bindweed. So that's it for what's growing here at my yard, but I am going to take us on a trip to the farm because I'm sure there needs to be things that need to be harvested. About a week and a half ago, Marissa basically brought home about 70 pounds of squash. So I'm going to take you out there, see what needs to be picked, and just to see how glorious it is because it's pretty amazing. This is absolutely stunning. This is one garden that you don't go, finally. The soil is just so amazing. You know, it's just looking fantastic. Everything is just so well fed and so happy in here. I'm not seeing any powdery mildew on anything. Everybody's leaves are beautiful and great. Nothing has got the, you know, the little yellowing on the edge. It's all just looking fantastic here. Wow, there is just no disappointment with this one at all. So I am going to just take you briefly through because I can see very clearly that there needs to be some picking done. The patty pans are looking great in there, as you can see. We're going to come back tomorrow and pick the potatoes because they are definitely done. I'm noticing on this garlic, and this garlic was planted just a little while ago, and I am seeing a scape on it. So, you know, that's pretty good that I could still plant garlic. I don't know how many days it is. This I'm so ecstatic about. These onions, which, you know, if you look at the bed, it's very haphazardly planted. I started out good trying to keep them separated, but I'm really pleased with the sizes of these. Like, look at that. That's wonderful. I'm excited to do the salsa with my own onions. We've got some red onions out here bulbing up beautifully. This is where you can see, oh, you weren't really caring how close or how far apart they were. Oh yeah, there is some scapes that one is curled right there. So, you know, it could be that September we will be picking that. Here are these peppers that I planted late. I do see some flowering. And then the corn, we have tassels. And we actually have a corn cob started in there, which is fabulous. Another one here. So this is the only part that we didn't plant in, but what you're seeing is spaghetti squashes that have jumped over at least 2 rows. I'm going to be the spaghetti squash queen on my yard. So we've got them just fabulous. I honestly cannot tell you, you know, this particular plant where it comes from. So it could be coming from this row or it could be the row after, but you can see right there that there are some squashes that we're going to go and have a look at. We're going to try to get close. They are huge. I am supposed to have in here what should be a sugar pie pumpkin, but I'm not sure where it is because of these spaghetti squash. I don't really know what this is. It looks like it's a melon of some sort. So I don't know if this is my row oh, I see the card. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, so this is the winter hammy melon. So this is going to be more like a cantaloupe. But the crossing, like I can't walk in this path here because the spaghetti squash have jumped and then jumped again. I'm at a loss because I can't even get in there to prune what's going on in there, you know, to pull out. It's just beyond words. It will be selling spaghetti squash out of my vehicle. Yeah, even in here, this path I can't cross over because there is vines going across it, but the spaghetti squash are everywhere. I think what I'll do is I'll cross over here because I can step around things. Because you just have to see these spaghetti squash. Okay, look at these. These are just beautiful. Yeah, you're not ready, I can tell. Oh, but getting close. But look at the size. Like, that's hefty. And there's 3 of them here. And then there's more up here. They're just everywhere. There's more in there. I don't want to kind of go over. So I don't know if that sugar pie pumpkin might be not in there, but I don't know. But everything is just looking beautiful. So I'm gonna do some picking. Don't know if there's room for you there, sir. Another zucchini plant, I believe. Or no, I don't know what you are. You're just full of gorgeous flowers. But you're probably zucchini, because I think we kind of put, you know, a zucchini on the end, a zucchini on the end. This is a row of zucchini. Who does that? Who plants that many zucchinis? But how I'm to get in there, that is yet to be seen. Okay, you 2 zucchinis need to come with me. And we need to change your position here, because you're in the way. Oh, I just broke him. Dang it. Oh, you're too heavy for yourself. Okay. All right. This one has to go. I'm gonna just take the leaf with it. Oh, he is a beaut. Wow. So I'm gonna take these other ones that are smaller here. This is probably more the size that people like to get. Okay, where do you come from? Okay, you're with this group. I probably should pick you 2. I might let you stay. And then what are you? Again, one of these vining. I think we're probably good for the size of zucchinis. Better check this one over here. And there's just, you know, about 4 on there, but they're decent in size. Still could take a day or 2 more. Wow. Okay. Let's go and pluck ourselves some patty pans. So my phone overheated, so I had to stop filming. So I just did the picking, and there isn't a much because most of it was been picked over the last week and a half. Just a few patty pans. Oops, you're stuck. Just a few patty pans, 3 zucchinis, and then the big giant one. We've been doing a lot of zucchini dinners. And the big one, what we would like to try to do is actually thinly slice it, dry it out, and make zucchini flour, because apparently zucchini flour is very common by the Amish when times get difficult. Anyway, thank you so much for going on this tour with me and keeping me company. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care and God bless you. What? Oh my goodness. Oh, you gotta see. I do have sugar pie pumpkins. Hello, pumpkins. Hello. Yay. I didn't even know you were here, and you're already starting to turn orange. Look at you grow. Beautiful. So I do have pumpkins after all. Yay.